Growing up, I was actually a very normal sized kid growing up, all the way from elementary, middle school, up till midway through high school. I remember being around the same height as most of my peers around. I actually also remember being a bit taller than a good amount of them, actually. As growing up, height was never really a concern for me. I didn't really think much of it. But after midway through high school, all of my peers around me just started growing taller out of nowhere. And looking around, I just kind of remained the same height. I mean, it was to the point where even many of the kids who used to be the same height as me, or if not shorter, eventually grew taller than me. And I mean, looking at my father, he's not much tall himself. He's about 5'3", 5'4". Seeing my friends grow taller and me just kind of staying the same height actually really did kind of frighten me a bit. As looking at my father, I knew deep down that I didn't have much potential. But for some reason, I still clinched on to hope. A chance of a miracle happening. A miracle that I would see on Reddit posts of people having late growth spurts at the age of 19, 20, 21. I remember at about the age of 18 when I was really coming to realize that my growth plates were actually about to close up all the way. I remember dreading the reality that I was going to stay at this height forever for the rest of my life, and I was desperately looking for a way to get taller, even if it meant by just an inch. I remember I would surface online and I would find stretching routines that would supposedly help me get taller. And for that time being, every single day before I go to sleep, I would follow this stretching routine religiously. I mean, I kept it up for a couple of months and I see no real results, and I eventually just stopped. I mean, maybe I should have kept going. Who knows? And my 19th birthday goes by, 20th birthday goes by, 21st. My 22nd birthday just went by a couple days ago. It's been 4 years ever since, and I haven't grown at all. This miracle that I was hoping so bad, deep down, to happen, me keeping it together all these years, trying to stay optimistic of this miracle, it was slowly starting to perish. And now I have to face the reality that I was just waiting for a day that was never going to really come. And that hit me really hard. Even the label of a short man has negative connotations to it, such as you're less than a man, less valuable, less capable, and so on. It's a common societal ideology that the general population embodies and perceives it to be. And as a short man, I'm forced to face that. Deep down, I wish everybody else thought differently, but I can't change everyone else's minds, can I? As this way how society would perceive short men would slowly start to consume at me. As people don't take you as serious, people don't treat you with as much respect, and so on. And this would leave a very bitter taste in my mouth. And this would cause me to overcompensate, working harder to show my talents, abilities, and skills, honing my skills and intelligence to be more respected. having to show more aggression and hostility to be taken more seriously. In a way, I was trying to prove to people that I am a full grown man, regardless of my height. And that would typically be expressed through anger and wrath. I wanted to show people that I was a potential threat. Because being a potential threat meant that you were a man, right? I mean, I remember I would be so quick to prove my dominance towards others, even if that meant for things to get messy. I thought I was proving my manhood to people, but in all honesty, I was just insecure. Even many times when I would walk outside in public, whether that's the public transit, library, school, you name it, I would feel so worthless and insignificant walking around. It's like my mind would just keep constantly measuring myself with the strangers I would walk past. Some days I would feel fine, but many other days I would just constantly measure myself. And most strangers I would walk by, I would always catch myself being on the shorter end. And at the end of the day, that would really eat at me a lot. Hanging out with friends, I mean, my friends would casually drop short jokes, and yeah, I would laugh, I would giggle, smirk, and I would pretend that the jokes never really bothered me and that I found it funny, but deep down, it did bother me. As this insecurity from my height was always something that I always tried to push to the side, act like it was never there, but this insecurity just keeps surfacing right back up, some way or another, for some reason. As I was always too afraid to confront myself for this insecurity of mine, which was my height. I mean, society may look down upon me for my height. I may look down upon myself for that height. But you know what? It didn't really matter because everybody has their own problems to deal with and the world doesn't revolve around me. So even though society would maybe bag on my height, it didn't really hurt much. It was something that I was able to shrug it off and move on forward. But it would even come from my own family members. My own family members would look down upon me because of my height. And when it comes from family, it stings much more deeper. I remember my mom was on a phone call with my uncles back home. These were uncles who I haven't seen in a very long time, and they were very eager to speak on the phone with me. I remember my mom barging into my room, telling me to go talk to my uncles on video call, as we don't normally get the chance to do this, considering that we're 12 hours apart. So I get up and I speak to my uncles through video call, and they were so happy to see me. They were loud, joyful, excited. They were telling me how much they missed me, how they want me to visit them again. And everything was going so well. I loved it. But somewhere down the conversation, my uncle asks me the question, "How tall are you?" As he realized that I was only just standing a head over than my mom, approximately. I remember when I heard that question, my heart kind of sank to my stomach. And I'm gathering the courage and mimicking a fake smile on my face to expose my height to him. And then I told him, I'm 5'6". My uncle's smile went away. The energy dropped. He didn't really seem as excited no more. And he wasn't really engaged in the conversation as he was before. And I remember feeling ashamed. I felt like I've let him down, even though I didn't do anything wrong. I remember I cut the conversation short, gave the phone to my mom, and went back into my room. And there it is again. Negative self-talk. Putting myself down all over again because of my uncle's reaction to my height. It was like my value was stripped away from me because of my height. something I had no control over, and I let it get to me, which I shouldn't have. Most short guys can probably relate to with what I'm saying. Fighting so hard to earn respect over a curse that you never even asked for. You know what you're capable of, your talents, your value, your abilities, skills, and so on, but yet your value just gets overshadowed by your height. You know your worth, you know your value, but yet for some reason, other people just can't see it. They're just too blind to. And that's fine. Not everyone needs to see your worth and value. Just because somebody else perceives your height in a certain way, that doesn't make it your problem. That's their problem. As deep down, you know your talents and value. So don't let somebody else's skewed up perception of you take that away. Don't let another person's mind dictate your value. Be secure that you know your value. And you can keep that temple safe. And nobody else has the power to knock it off balance unless you give them the power to. As you're obviously more than just your genetic structure, which anybody with a level of critical thinking skills and intelligence would be able to understand. Maybe the shallow, one-dimensional thinkers may not be able to understand or see it, but honestly, they don't really matter. 0 multiplied by 100 is still equivalent to 0. So there's no need to stoop down to low-frequency, feeble-minded people who can't think outside of their shallow, one-dimensional thinking box. You're better than that. So don't waste your energy and attention on it. Just accept that there will always be shallow people around, no matter where you go. You have to live side by side with them. And that's fine. Just gravitate towards your own people of a higher frequency, people who really deserve your attention and time. You're made exactly how you are, and you really don't need to fight it. You're only doing yourself harm. It may be very easy to slip into the whole fantasizing habit, fantasizing about being a taller version of yourself, a more handsome version of yourself in this hypothetical world that you made up in your own head. But as long as you're chasing your goals, providing value, and you are already your best version of yourself. And that is the only version of you that really, truly matters. No need to compare to lessen your value at all. As this body of yours. I mean, I get it. You might have heard everything I just told you, and you still may not be content and happy with your height. And I completely get it. As a short guy, I completely get it. But this body of yours, this body will get old one day. It will wrinkle. It will decay. You will eventually die and leave this body behind. You will leave this body behind to be buried underground 6 feet. And moments before your death, what will you really be thinking? You would be thinking, why did I not love myself? Why did I not love the one body that was given to me? To walk, to jump, to run, to skip, to climb. The one body that gave you the freedom and privilege to enjoy the sports you played, to dance to your favorite music you loved listening to. It will be then when you truly realize that you were perfect exactly the way you were. And that includes your height and body. And as long as you know that deep down, just let the background noise be background noise. Please comment and like this video. Please share this video with someone who you may think can benefit off of this. Because if my videos can help one person, just one person only, then My purpose of making this video has been met. Stay blessed and peace out.